Hey there, I want to introduce you today to the most powerful tool I've ever used. It's almost like a weapon in my toolkit when it comes to unraveling false stories, dealing with emotional triggers. Here it is. It's the pen. Now, it's not the type of pen, it's not Bic. You can use any pen. But what I'm talking about is the written word, is you writing things out. Now, I shot a video about being the observer. And sometimes when we're emotionally triggered, it's our amygdala that fires up, and it's very hard to process it in the mind. And what I find is the pen can really help slow the brain down. But there's something else scientifically that writing does. It engages with the prefrontal cortex, and that's a different part of the brain. So you can literally shift that energy that you're feeling, that emotion, and you shift it onto the paper. And there's studies that have shown that people who journal for at least 15 minutes a day have reduced stress, reduced anxiety. There's something that happens when we call out what is happening to us, that we label it. That can just be an immediate release. You start getting power over it, and then you start writing it. And just like being the observer, you don't have to answer it. I read somewhere, I liked it, the pen doesn't judge. It's just telling the truth you've been avoiding. But when we bring it into our conscious, when the prefrontal cortex is involved, you'll find things slow down. And when you start being the observer, you don't even have to figure it out on the paper, but you just write it down, you observe it. You might find it takes a few times to unravel it. What I've found about false beliefs that we tell ourselves is sometimes they're deep and they're intertwined, and you peel one back and another one comes up, and sometimes it's like a pattern of what has happened in your life. And that's how we've gotten to this point in our time, with these stories that cross and overlap. So that's one use for the pen, and that it's a powerful use. The second thing that I've found that has changed my life, and this is something that I started doing in my early years, reading positive thinking books, is writing down dreams and goals and things like that. And then I hated doing it. I stopped doing it. I got negative on it, and I think it was because I was putting too much pressure on myself. But where you can use the pen is to write down your intention. It's a very powerful form of manifesting. And it's like, you don't even need to know the answer. Take the pressure off yourself for that. But if you want to change in your life, if you want something different to what you've got, just write it out. And maybe write it out in a story form where you explain how it feels to wake up and go to that new job, or how it feels to do fun activities with your partner that you found, or whatever aspect of your life you want to improve. You can improve it with the pen. And the reason I'm a convert on this, I went from the negative to the positive, is I went back and looked at some of my old stuff, and I realized that I'd accomplished a lot of the things I had written, and I had no idea how I was going to do it at that time. And so I'd like to encourage you to use the power of this to really process the false stories you're telling yourself, but use the power to rewrite your new stories, even if you don't know how it's going to happen. And you'll see that energy changes. You'll see you'll be more open to opportunities just by using that prefrontal cortex and writing it down. So if you're into journaling, sorry for the mansplaining. I'd love to hear your positive views on experiences, how it's helped you. If you're finding it difficult to use the pen, I really understand that too. And when I first started journaling, I almost felt like Michael J. Fox in Back to the Future 2 when he's trying to play the guitar in his hands, or because he had that car accident. I kind of felt like that when I was writing. It was so uncomfortable. I hadn't written so long a thing in a while, but you loosen up, and now it's a comfort to me. Now it's one of the first things I look for when I want to think about something, when I'm not even sure about something. You can use it to pray as well. You can write your messages down, and I find that it helps us. You can end up having conversations with your inner wisdom and connection. And so encourage you to do it. Look forward to hearing how you went.